Incredible greetings. Hello, everyone. Incredible greetings. We are live on a Friday evening. Stayed in late, just a little bit, just because I'm not going to be here too long because I'm actually technically past my time to stay here. But I wanted to do a live video going over Select CDO and answering questions on a Friday when I guess now like East Coast, maybe a little bit of West Coast, you guys are, I mean, not West Coast, Central Standard Time. You guys are off from the regular 9 to 5 and able to participate and ask questions. So I figured I would stay a little bit longer and answer questions with you guys. So how is everyone? Alrighty, there we go. So hello, everyone. Welcome in. I'm waiting for this to reset so that I can share this out. So I have to change my privacy. There we go. So now we can share it. Hold on. So let's see. Hello, TikTok. How are you guys doing? We're going to get started momentarily. I'm just sharing it out. You guys, if you want, you can start posting your questions. I'm going to do the official, intro. But if you want, this is a Q&A live help session. You can start posting your questions now to make sure that your question gets in. Because like I said, I am limiting my time today. I want to be able to get home well before 8 o'clock. All right. All right, almost done. All right, there we go. So select all. Let's copy that and share. All righty. So we're going to share that out one time. I don't know why it's not giving me the option to share it out to my groups like I normally do, but it's okay. We're gonna make it happen. We're gonna get it done. We're gonna get it done. All right. If you are watching the playback of this is a live broadcast. I am live right now. So it does take a little minute to get going. I have to share it out. I'm also waiting for, the algorithm to go ahead and drop those notifications so that we can build our audience. So if you are watching the playback of this, remember that this is a live broadcast. This is not pre-recorded to where we just kind of go and jump into it. So there's going to be some moments of silence during this, and yeah. So make sure that you guys go ahead and hit like, hit share this out, give this video a thumbs up, tag a friend. All right. The Barbie box, will you be showing how you did that? I mean, if that's a question and you want to pose it as a question, that you want to see that, I can maybe do parts of it, not all of it, but I can probably do parts of that if that is an official question. And also, if you have given this video a thumbs up and shared it and or tagged a friend, we might be able to make that work for you today. Alrighty. So let's go ahead and get started. Oh, you know what? I just realized. Hello, everyone. But over here, you guys don't see me yet. Let's see. Why don't you see me? That's a good question because it is definitely up. Okay. I have no idea why my video is not showing. Huh. Interesting. All right, let's see what's going on with this. Hmm. For some reason, my camera is not showing for you guys over on TikTok. So you're only going to get, okay, yeah, you're only going to get to see my silhouette screen because for some reason, my video is not showing, but it's okay. This is the most important part is the screen anyway. So you guys can still ask your questions. But for everyone else over on Facebook and YouTube who can actually see my face, hello, everyone, and welcome in. I am Shakia, the professor of HSINK365. We are the home of the Honestly Speaking brand of products. If you don't know, we carry the best sublimation ink and paper. Our sublimation paper allows you to sublimate as low as 365 degrees, as fast as 30 seconds. Our ink, the black, we blacken. It's absolutely amazing, vibrant colors. Every Jesus, every single time. Our bottles are 140 milliliters, so you get more bang for your buck, less time in between your refills, unless you know you are a beast with it and you are like printing and business is booming for you. But it's still 140 milliliters, so it's going to last you a while. We also have pigment ink. We have chip. Well, right now we're out. We do sell chip resetters, the cartridges, the chips, and things for like the newer workforce. We still have the cartridges for the old workforce. So definitely check out our website, shop.hsink365.com, to see everything that we have to offer over there. We also have, of course, our classes, or www.hsink365.com. But we also have our classes. 365 Creative Academy is my online platform where I help you to unlock your creativity in a wide variety of trainings, whether it's Silhouette Studio, foam board, shirts, cups, invitations, party favors, paper crafting, 3D paper crafting, flat paper crafting, layer paper, vinyl, HTV, adhesive vinyl. I've done quite a bit with my cameos, but also just like kind of designing it and using it for various projects that I have monetized. We have a successful business in creating custom items for others. So yeah, if you have questions about that, feel free to drop them. All right. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and get into this. Let's see. We are going to come up here and say hello to a few people. So hello. I was just playing around with what you were showing today. Awesome. Incredible evening, incredible greetings. Thank you for joining the live all the way from Douglasville, Georgia. We are in Miami Gardens, Florida. So if you are in this local area, give us a shout, just give us a call. Especially if you want to come in and do in-person sessions, or you can contact us on the website. Also, if you Google us, the number will be there to contact us. Okay. Hello, hello. Hey, just say thank you for joining from North Carolina. Hello, incredible greetings. Incredible greetings. Hey, period. Because you say city girls. All right. So let's see. Hello, hello, hello. Well, I know you guys can see and hear me over here. I was talking about TikTok. They can't see the video, like my picture. They can only see my screen. I am absolutely incredible, amazing today. You're in for Lickadale. Thank you for joining from coastal Georgia. All right. Thank you for greeting all of our other creatives. So, like I said, we're going to basically go through Silhouette Studio and I'm going to answer your questions. It won't let you like the live. So you can't double tap the screen to hit the lives. I mean, to like the video. Not sure what's going on with that. All right. But like I said, I wanted to be able to come on to do a live video to answer questions. I know a lot of the times when I'm on, because of just like, I work a regular work day like y'all. Just because I'm an entrepreneur, I don't want to work overtime and not really get paid to be here overtime the same way y'all wouldn't want to work overtime. And I'm normally here fairly early. So I tend to do my videos like early in the morning, or I try to shoot for lunchtime for those who are on the East Coast and like Central Standard Time. But I wanted to, every once in a while, try and sneak in an evening one. Like especially if I come into the office late or like this, it's a Friday. So I figured I would come on and do a live Q&A help session. Now, I teach classes. Damn good at it too. How be ye ever? Classes and dedicated learnings and teachings normally are reserved for my paid classes. Now, there are times I'll kind of jump on. I've been doing a lot of ones when it comes to like tracing, because I do believe that like in Silhouette Studio, tracing is foundational. Like you really, really should be practicing tracing at least 3 times a week. But for the most part, when I come on to give help, it is to help you guys. I'm pretty sure you guys are searching YouTube for questions. Well, how to do this, how to make that, how to design this, how do I do X, Y, and Z? So now is your time to get those questions answered in real time, where if I have to back up, slow down, you'll be able to follow along and get a full understanding of it. Now, if you guys don't ask any questions, it's going to be a very boring session. But the more questions you guys ask and really ask those good questions, the more beneficial this live broadcast and help session will be. So don't hesitate to post your questions. You don't have to wait until I am done with one question to post yours. I go through the comments. I do my best to try and answer as many questions as possible before we get off. Okay. Okay, so you guys have to remember, I'm actually broadcasting, so sometimes I'll say something, but I thank you guys. I thank you guys for liking it over here as well. But I'm also broadcasting to TikTok right now. And someone over there was saying that they were not able to like the live and like double tap it to like the live. So, but I appreciate y'all likes over here too. Okay. You are in Palm Beach. Y'all are right there, right in the backyard. Okay. So someone here says, I finally saw the hand when using the edit points. Don't you know, I always thought that was one of the points. Oh, really? So, I mean, if you go back through the edit point ones, I say that. So you have the actual edit point. It will be gray. When you click on it, it will be white. Now, if you have it set to like it's flat, it's not going to like a polygon, you're not going to see the handles. If it's on a curve and you click on it, there is going to be a line and there's going to be blue squares at the end. Those are your handles to move them around. Okay. Oh, we have Florida's in the house. Hello, my Floridians. How y'all doing? It's very rare that I see a lot of people from Florida. I normally there's normally a lot of people from Georgia and Texas in here. It's very rare that I get a lot of people from Florida, but we are in the building today. Hey. I did what you said and use my zoom. Yeah, you got to zoom in sometimes because especially if you have a lot of edit points clustered in one spot, you're not going to see that, which is why I tend to eliminate a lot of the edit points and just kind of work from a few of them and just do longer runs of curves. Oh, snap. Ocala in the building too. Hey, it's the Florida takeover. Yes. All right, so we do have a question here on TikTok, and it is, how do I make a word become warped? Yes, I have business edition. So I'm going to follow this up with another question. What type of warping are you trying to do? I don't really care for I'll be honest, I don't really care for the warping in Silhouette Studio because of how it squishes things. It doesn't give it like what in like what's it called? In Illustrator, which is like envelope, where you can kind of have the flat, you can have the arches and things like that. You're really not going to get good waves either. There is a warp tool. They have one that has like dedicated shapes, but it really does squish your text. So it's really not the best feature in Silhouette Studio. So I'll be perfectly honest with that. It's really not the best feature, but I will show you where that is located and you can play around with that and decide for yourself if you're trying to make it like wave or you're trying to create like an arch and things of that nature. So we're going to go to share screen for you guys because they already see my screen. Okay. Yes, I noticed it was where yes, like so yeah, the wave is not something there are like you can do Google searches and there are like apps or like interfaces online. You can go like certain websites, plug in your text and it will warp it for you because it's using the technology like a vector-based program like Illustrator or Corel Draw, where it's basically using what's called envelope or yeah, still envelope or like warp it to like shapes to make it conform to that shape. But Silhouette Studio doesn't really do it that well. So like if I were to take this and I wanted to warp, it doesn't really matter if it's a shape to path. So it's not going to really give you like a full on warp, but you could create, oh wait, hold on. Let's delete that. We need to make that red. We're going to make this no color. All right. So I'm just going to make a line here. So I can double click on this and put it on that line. And so you see it will curve, but it's not necessarily warped when you do this. So I'm going to go convert to path. And you see how, I mean, depending on how much of a curve you did, it will do that. But you can also, if you have, like you said, designer and like business edition. Now my icons, I have to go to the flyout because I have my icon set to large so that you guys can see them when I'm doing videos. So all of the icons on the right-hand side don't fit there. There is a little arrow at the bottom and it's a flyout. So your warp is the one that looks like a grid line and it has, it's like the bottom part is warped. So once you have that, you can simply go to warp selected shapes and you can move your you can move the handles, but it does squish it wherever those are. Okay. So I'm going to just go back to restore. You also have the ones for shapes and you can use that. But again, it does squish it. Now, some of them are not like too bad, but if you look at other softwares, like if you have Microsoft Word and you use their word art, it is different. A lot of the times I will use like Microsoft Word to get certain warps and then save that as a PDF. open up that PDF in Silhouette Studio, and then it's already ready for me to cut. So hopefully that helps. I'm in New York, but I'm trying to learn how to do this. Can I do this with a Dell computer? Yes, you can. That's actually my favorite brand of computers. I have my Dell laptop. This one that I'm working on is a Dell. I have a gaming system from Dell. When it comes to graphic designing, anything that is like ideal for gaming, because gaming is a lot of graphics and things like that, that's going to be the best option. So you want to have a good graphics card. You want to have great RAM, which is your memory. And of course, you don't want your hard drive to get too full. So you want to have a decent sized hard drive or have like a cloud drive and things of that nature, and you should be good. Okay. But yes, you definitely can use a Dell. And as far as learning this, you can always visit our website, shop.hsink365.com. I have a 30-day training. It breaks down all the tools and functions and everything like that over the course of 20, like you have 24 days of like all of the tools and functions and things of that nature. And then we have several days of hands-on designing. So you're going to see all those tools and functions brought together. And we're going to make we made templates. We did Q&A sessions. And then from there, we have a lot of other classes. Like if you want to specifically learn how to create some amazing memorial designs that don't always include wings and pearly gates and skies and stuff like that. I teach some really, really cool, like some dope techniques that you can use for memorial designs. Is going to set you apart from everyone else. They're going to look like just great designs and not, maybe sad type, like your traditional memorial designs. So once you get done with the 30-day training, which there is a discount on that right now, I'm not going to tell you what that discount is. If you want to see what it is, head over to the website, add it to your cart, and see what the additional discount is on this particular training. Okay. How to interlock letters. I need a little bit more context as far as like what you're trying to do, because that can take on a couple different forms when it comes to interlocking. So I need a little bit more information on what it is that you're wanting, like exactly which version you're referring to. What size of silhouette? So I always recommend the 32-bit because it's meant. So a 32-bit computer, which most computers now are 64. It was like, the older ones. We've kind of grown and stuff like that. But 32-bit is a slower computer. Everything moves a little bit slower. So when they have programs that are made for that, they in turn are meant to be able to work on a slower system. So when you use that one that's 64, it helps it to not crash as much, which is why I recommend the 32-bit version. When I put the 64-bit of the from 4.0 all the way to 4.5, the 64-bit version just seems to crash a lot more than if you use 32. So that's why I recommend it. Just joining, how did you get the offset? What offset do you mean around this? This is made up of several replicates. There we go. I was like, what the heck? You have that class, you need to go watch it. Yes, why are you guys buying classes and not utilizing them? I'm telling you some of the questions that you will have. So how to do this, like if you want to see it in detail, that is, I believe I just told someone it's day 19, if I'm not mistaken. Yep, no, not day 19. It would be day 18. So the advanced replicate is what you would use to be able to create that effect in Silhouette Studio. And basically, we're going to come here and we're going to use our replicate. You're going to hit this icon right here, which is your advanced replicate. You're going to come to this, to the position. Now, there is a version of Silhouette Studio where that does not show up. I don't remember exactly which one. I think it's a 4.4 version of Silhouette Studio. I use version 4.3 4.370. If I can get someone to write that in the comment section, 4.3.370. 4.3.370. That is the version that I use. There are different glitches in every single version. And in one of them, can't remember which one it is, but I think it's one of the 4.4 versions, this is all messed up. So, they're like, there were students like, okay, I see you're using it, but on mine, it's not like that. I don't know what all the glitches are in every single version. If you go to Silhouette America, you're going to see they have a lot of different versions, over time. But 4.3.370, it definitely works. So you click this arrow and it's going to be your X and Y offset. So that is your vertical and horizontal offset. And it's not your traditional offset. So like when you use this offset, it is putting an even border around everything. So we have to understand that these two offsets in Replicate and the offset tool are two different things. So your traditional offset, whether you're using offset or internal, it is going to put an additional shape evenly around everything, like contour evenly around it, or towards the inside. Your offset for your Replicate, it offsets it, meaning it will push it to the right, left, top, or bottom. So from wherever the center point is, it is going to offset that or move it over by that distance. So if I were to come here and I'm going to go here and I say, I want this to replicate 1 over, right? So this is how I create like stripe patterns. This is how I create polka dot patterns. Like when I want to actually do it myself and create my own pattern paper, I will use like my Replicate. So I can click here, and if I make this 1 and it's on 1, I go Replicate, it's going to give me a replicate. It's going to replicate it 1 inch over from the start point. Okay, so not from the end, because it's not that type of replicate. If that's the case, you have to do the whole thing. So that would be 12 inches. So if I wanted to go to the end, I would have to make this, like, for the sake of this, I'm just going to say 13, and then I'll replicate, and then it'll be to the other side. But this will go, and it will go over 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. And let's say I'm going to go down. So I'm going to go put a 5 here, and I'm going to put, actually, let's make it the 5, and then I'm going to go 6, right? So I can do 1, or I can tell it to do 5. Right, so that's how that replicate works. So for the offset behind it, you're just going to tell it like how many times you want it to go back, and you're going to make this a really small number. It doesn't matter like what number that is. Well, it matters, but it depends on like the look that you're going for. And we're just going to go replicate. And I did the wrong one, so we're going to undo. I meant to do the background. I'm just going to hit replicate again. And then I'm going to weld all of that. And then I'm going to paste this back in front. And so that's kind of sort of, and then you have to go in and clean it up. Depending on how big you did it, you have to go in and maybe like clean it up. But that's how you create a 3D effect in Silhouette Studio. Okay, let's see. Yeah, see, I can't help you with Max. Sorry. Okay, I see you play in 4.5 version. I was wondering if you went. Oh yeah, I went back. When I do that, I normally do it for like a quick second. Yeah, I went back a long time ago, and I even said it in a video. I went back to 4.3. That's the most stable. No questions from you guys over on TikTok? All right. And also over here, guys, don't just watch what's going on off of someone else's question. Post your own question. What is it that you want to learn? If you don't post questions, you don't get answers. I am here offering my expertise to you to answer the questions that you have. So if you ask questions, it's going to be a great session. If you don't ask questions, it's going to be a very short session or very boring session. Okay. So post your questions. I don't see the person that asked about the interlocking. I did not see a response to that as far as what type of interlocking, but maybe she had to jump off. Can you show how to do an offset to an offset? I noticed that a lot of Cricut uses method. Can you show us how to do an offset to an offset? I don't know what you mean by that. So I mean, if you just have a shape, I'm going to just fill it with color so that you can see. You can put as many offsets as you want. So you can go offset and then apply, and then offset and then apply, and then offset. You can make it bigger and then apply. And that's going to give you a bunch of different offsets. So I'm not sure if that's what you mean. Yeah, you can put as many offsets as you want by just continuing to hit the offset button. But if it's something else, like I'm not a Cricut user, I don't really spend a lot of time like in Cricut groups and watching a lot of Cricut videos. So I'm not sure if it's like a trending or a specific technique that they're doing. But okay, you're gonna send me a video later once you get off work. Okay, perfect. And then like with these, if you use like your modify tools, so I can take like this ring and this ring, and I'm going to come over here and go subtract. Move this other way. So it creates an opening here. So that's, yeah, that one. Okay, I know you know how to do it in Silhouette. I'm pretty sure I do. I just need to know like exactly what you are referring to. Interlock. Okay, what do you mean interlock DHS? I still don't understand. Like, are you talking about block fonts, script fonts? What type of interlock are you wanting? Because and is there a specific type of font? Because that's not always going to interlock or look great if the letters don't come over enough to interlock. I mean, I can pick a random font, DHS, and you would have to ungroup it. You're going to have to figure out where you want that interlock to be as far as moving it over. And same thing here. So as I said, like you're going to lose a lot of the H by trying to interlock it with the S because it needs to be in an open area. So I can't like go right here and interlock it because as you can see, it's going to cross over a certain part. I mean, I can make it kind of go, I guess, maybe to the front, but then I really can't make this go to the back because then it's going to be like splitting through it. It needs to be at an area that is open. So it really depends on, on that. If it is, so a sports font, you're trying to create like how like the collegiate, like with schools and stuff. And like, let's say like Notre Dame and stuff, 3 letters, it can be kind of difficult. I'm just going to stick with like 2 for now. And then it's going to be kind of like the same concept. So we're just going to make this a different color. If I do like this one, because you can have it where it's like in the mid. Oh man, you have to know like if you want this one to be bigger. I'm going to bring this to the front. Let's see. Yeah, that's not really going to work. Okay, so let's say we go D, H, and then we'll do S like that. So you can do it this way. Certain things, some letters may have to be bigger, smaller. It's not just about the technique to do it. It's understanding how you're going to have to manipulate your font. So as you saw there, you won't be able to really do that if all of the letters are the same size. Most times when you're looking at those types of designs and they're interlocking like their school names, something is going to be either bigger or another letter might be smaller, or something's going to be like overly stretched. Like Notre Dame is a really good one. That D, there's no D that's naturally that long. So to make it interlock with an N, that was made to where that D was hyper extended to go the length of a letter N. So it's knowing those things as well that you're going to have to modify your text to get that desired result. Okay. But if we just kind of do like, let's say this one, I'm going to take my transparency up just for the sake of, I'm going to make everything a different color. We're going to select this and we're going to copy. Now, once you start to add offsets in this, it's a totally different ball game as well. So we're going to just copy this and we're going to go crop. And I'm just going to make those colors like that. And then paste in front. And I'm going to send it to the back. Now you are going to technically kind of decide like, what do you want in the front versus back? And how you're going to do that is utilizing just the colors. I like to make a color palette so it's easier for, well, you can either make a color palette, just sample it, because I like to use my properties dropper. So I'm going to take everything here and I'm going to go no line color. So let's say I wanted the D to look like it's in the front here and then it's behind the H. That means these two need to be yellow and this one needs to be blue. So you see how that interlocks. If you make these blue and you make this yellow, it's going the other way. Same thing over here. So we're going to go like this, and so it's going to look like it's interlocking like that. Now, if you're just doing this for print or like just digital purposes, you can technically leave this just like it is here and you just group it all together and you don't have to do anything else. Or you would subtract it out. So if you have blue here, you're going to select those, click on the yellow, and you're going to go modify and subtract. So that's going to cut that hole into that. So if you're cutting it from vinyl, that opening will be there. So we're going to click here, click on the H, and we're going to subtract. Say, oh, I could have did this way too. So we're going to go here, 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 subtract, and then subtract. So now everything has its openings if you're going to use this for vinyl. Okay. And then, of course, once you start to add offsets to give it some separation, because right now, if I were to fill this all in with the same color, it's just going to be kind of a big blob. It's a little bit different once you, like, if you want them to be the same color, you have to then have offsets. But practice on that part first. That's your foundation. Release compound path is the same as weld and attach from a circle. No, it is not. It is not. Release compound path and weld are not the same in any way, shape, or form. If I had something, you can't, in order for you to be able to release the compound path on something, there has to be a compound path. And that means that there's going to be an inner portion to it. So whether it's the inside of a letter, if it is, I'm going to go to my library and let's do, okay, so let's say like this picture frame right here. Okay. So if I fill this in with color, okay, so these actually are not compound paths. So I'm going to ungroup. So then that would be a compound path. So that wasn't a really good example because it wasn't set up already. But anything that has an internal area, I think if I do like a butterfly, let's do, let's see, the fairy. Okay, so something like this, there's so many ways, like when it comes to compound paths. It can be that's like two, I can have these two and they're technically a compound path. And the only way that you're going to separate these, well, there's a little trick. Those who take the 30-day training, you guys know the trick to not have to release. But if you want these to be separated, you have to release compound path. And then you would have to go back in and then make this a compound path. Whereas if they were grouped together, you can always ungroup. So it's totally different. Now, if I were to put these like back to back like this and I weld them, well, they become one. If you release compound path, you're not going to separate them. You're going to separate whatever is an inner part, but you're not going to separate the two. There's no way to actually unweld. So I know that I think Cricut has it. They have an unweld feature, but there's really, like in any other design program outside of Cricut Design Space, there's no such thing as an unweld. You cannot unweld something that has been welded together. You needed an additional copy, or you would have to undo to get back to that. But yes, compound path and weld are not the same. And as far as attaching in, I guess, because you can detach, I believe, in Cricut Design Space. So it's not quite the same. It does make it to where it's one piece. And for how, like when you go to send, if you just group something together, Cricut can separate it. But when you attach it, it stays together just like that. So it's kind of sort of the same, but not quite. But I do have, so if you want to know, click for click, tool for tool, and you think that you would be able to understand Silhouette Studio a little bit better if there was a Cricut reference, we do have, so you go under classes and playbacks, we do have a training that is a Cricut to Silhouette Studio crossover. So it's not going over every single tool and function in Silhouette Studio. I actually need to do an updated version since now Cricut has a lot of other things like the offset and to warp your text. Theirs is a little bit easier because you just kind of arch it and bend it. And then now they have like weld and all those different things on, like they have some new stuff on there. I probably need to do an updated version and schedule another live class for the Cricut to Silhouette Studio crossover. But this one is still pretty good. And it's, again, discounted right now. I'll go ahead and put this in the comment section. But this compares apples to apples, oranges to oranges. It does not, again, it does not go through everything like the 30-day training. There are things that are in Silhouette Studio that Cricut Design Space simply does not have. So I go over what Cricut has and show you like how to translate that into Silhouette Studio. Okay. All right. Well, if there are no other questions, I will close out because I sent out that invitation more than once to drop your questions that you did not have to wait for one question to end before you ask your own. I don't see any new questions posted, not even over on TikTok. You guys can post questions as well over on TikTok. But if there are none, we're going to go ahead and wrap up. I don't want to hold you longer than we need to if you guys don't have any more questions. But I know y'all are doing YouTube searches. I don't know why is it that when I get on, people always say, well, I don't know what to ask. You've tried to design something and got stuck. You got frustrated. Even if you figured it out, like, okay, well, I had an issue, but I figured it out. Well, was that the right way? You can probably even ask the professor, okay, well, this is what I wanted to do. I don't know if it was the right way. I end up doing it this way. Can you show me how you would do it? When I do these sessions, you can ask those questions as well, because just because you figured out how to do it doesn't mean that it's going to be the most time efficient way of doing it. And I'm pretty sure there are things that you guys search, put in hashtag searches over on TikTok or Instagram or on YouTube. That's what these sessions are for. Whatever your recent searches are, go ahead and ask those questions. Okay. Oh no, that's the same one from Trina. Okay. You are very welcome. How do you set your program from beginning? I'm not sure what you mean by that. Solar Studio really is a program where you just open it up and just go. So if you mean as far as like opening a file, up here is new drawing. So that's like to open up a new one, or you can always hit the plus sign. If you are not if you're not going to use a Cameo machine and you're just wanting it for sublimation or just to create a design and save files, you can turn your machine to none, and then you decide how big you want this design space, like this design area, to be. I typically don't come to my design area until I'm ready to cut or save. I typically tend to design all up and through here. So you'll see like on a couple of different things, you see my design area is here and all of my stuff is all over here. Let's see, same thing with that one. But yeah, you don't have to design in like on the design page. Only when you're ready to print and or cut something do you have to have it in this particular area. And you're just gonna, let's say if you're designing something, you want to print to 11 by 17 paper, you're gonna put in 11 by 17. Not 172, 11 by 17 is what I said. If you are doing 8.5 by 14, you're going to go 8.5 by 14. Oh, come on. If you are using a machine, you're going to go up here. I typically tend to leave mine on just auto Cameo. And then you're going to pick, which size mat you're using for 8. You can see here where it shrunk it down to 8.5 by 12 because you would need an 8.5 by 24 inch mat to account for the 14-inch paper. Other than that, like that's really the only I guess you can say quote unquote setup part. I don't do anything because I don't use grid lines. I can't stand those things. Yeah, that's really about it. My 12 by 12 looks different. So I'm not sure if it looks different in like if you're using version 4.5, but it should not look any different. So if you go to a 12 by 12 mat and you put in here for your width and height 12 by 12, it's going to fill up that whole thing. Now, if yours is set up to where you have like a full-on white background and you can't really tell the difference between where your mat is and or like if you turn the mat off, if your surrounding area is white, then you want to come down to your themes and change that to where it is either light gray or dark gray. So there is some difference in contrast that you can see where your actual design area is. You can change, yes, you can change your mat size. Your mat is the physical mat. So that's all that this is. Your design area is your design area. When you select a mat, you're telling it, hey, I'm going to load a 12 by 24 inch mat or a 12 by 12 mat or a portrait size mat or a pick scan mat or a 12 by 24 or a 15 by 15 mat. So when it says mat, it is talking about the actual physical. Oh, wait, you guys can't see that. My bad. Here we go. I am so sorry. I'm looking at TikTok and they're seeing my screen move, but you guys never saw my screen move. I'm so sorry. Y'all were looking at my face. Okay, so right here is where you would set your machine. Here is your physical mat. And you can select a 12 by 12 mat, a 12 by 24 inch mat. You can select your portrait mat, your pick scan. Again, so if you go Cameo Plus, it will show the 12 by 12. It'll show the 15 by 15 there. I am not using 4.3, so I don't have any options for Pro on my system. You must be using 4.4 in order to see anything for Pro. I don't recommend using the Pro. I don't use the Pro. I don't use 4.4. So I don't have any settings on mine for the Pro. Okay. But if you can just go Cameo, you'll still get, I think that's the only thing. If I just put Cameo, if it doesn't detect a plus, it won't give me the option for a 15 by 15. So it detects my regular 12-inch. So that's all the options that I get. If I want to see my 15 by 15 mat, I have to set machine to plus. Okay. But for just the regular 12-inch, yes, you can go in and choose your mat, and you can go in and tell it whatever size you want it to be. All of my classes always have playbacks. That's one question that you guys never have to ask about any of our classes. Every single class that we do is available for playback. Like the playback is available for purchase. There we go. That's how I wanted to say that one. What is the difference between your custom text effects and design bootcamp session? I am not sure what you are referring to. So let's just go over here. Classes and playbacks. Not sure which one you're referring to. Now, if you mean like the old, because if you mean like the old one, the old one, some people say they like that one better. It's just that the newer text effect, it was taught in a different way. It's pretty much the same exact concepts. It was just taught again for those who wanted to attend live. So, but if you mean like the text effects design bootcamp, so it was called bootcamp like 2 or 3 years ago when I did that. That has pretty much everything that you need as far as text effects. There was that first day where the Zoom panel was blocking, and then you have to go to the bonus ones, and I just redid those. So I redid the text effects because of that, but all that information is in the original. It's just taught a little bit differently in the updated version. You can't find the playback and you purchase the class. So if you purchase just the phone board class, you guys have to make sure that you are reading your emails. On your email, there was a link for the Zoom, and then there was a link that says for your playbacks, click here. And it also gave all of the instructions on what to do once you click on that playback. So that if you did not sign up for the summer school, your playbacks are not on your dashboard. You must go back to your email that you got, not your receipt, but the email that you were able to access the Zoom session for. Check your promotions. It's going to come from 365 Creative Academy, and that is going to have the link for you to watch the playbacks, but it will not be on your dashboard because I decided at the last moment to offer those sessions to you guys a la carte. But originally they were only for the summer school. So only summer school students have it on their dashboards. Do you outsource banners made in Silhouette? If so, CMYK and DPI a concern. Some places require certain file setups. So I do outsource, and I design them. I save them as a PDF. As long as you don't have any transparencies in there, you can save it as a PDF. I save that as a PDF. Some places will allow you to submit a PDF. If they don't allow you to, I go into Photoshop, I open it there, and then I simply save it. So I'll set my Photoshop one up. I typically tend to design and send, like, let's say I just did 8x8 banner. I design as a 4x4, and when they blow it up, because of how I design, it's still crisp. But yes, I don't save it from Silhouette Studio. I don't really care for my actual designs and printing. I don't save anything for actual print as a PDF, as a PNG or a JPEG from Silhouette Studio. It's actually not great for that. Okay. Can you show us how to do a knockout design? I recently had to buy Black Girl Magic. There's 1,000 different ways. So you're saying Black Girl Magic, was it that it's just the word Black Girl and like magic is knocked out? Are you referring to like a bunch of different words? And then some people say knockout, but what they're wanting is not knockout. Shoot. I wish you were not at work and you can kind of show me what you're referring to, because yeah, knockout to me might end up being something different for you. Is it that it's a picture, like a silhouette of a person's head out of Black Girl Magic? Not sure. Um, Design from Etsy because I couldn't get it to work. Yeah, it depends on what it is that you're referring to. Because like let's say we go, because I don't know like how many layers. Is it just is it just a solid silhouette? Is it like a bunch of colors that you were trying to do? I don't know, let me see, maybe if I go to Etsy I can figure out what you're referring to. Like if I just do a quick search of Black Girl Magic, and maybe I'll see what you were looking at. So Black Girl Magic. So if you see it, if you can let me know what it is that you are referring to. Yes, it is the afro, and the words Black Girl Magic was in the center. Um okay, let's see. You mean this? Like this? Oh, okay. So you have to have the main part of something like this is the actual image that you are using. That's going to be first and foremost. And if it was like, if it still had like the layer for the face, you would have to make that a compound path or like subtract it. Again, I don't know how it's set up. So in order for me to go through, I can show a bunch of different ways. If it was an SVG that was already created, but then I have to know how that SVG was created. But at its core, you do need the face cut out. So if you can fill the face with color, it is set up incorrectly. It needs to be where it's by itself. Okay. And where it's open, not by itself. It needs to be where it is open. So I'm going to come over here. Let's see. Let's go. Hey, why am I on the wrong Wi-Fi? All right, let's switch over. Okay, why are you not opening up? What the heck? Alrighty. I don't really save stuff like that in my library, so I doubt I will have anything that will look remotely like that, because I typically don't save stuff like that to my library. Um okay, wait, let's see. What is this? Okay, nope. That's not no. Yeah, and that's gonna be hard. Oh wait, maybe she is. I think that little image on the side might be to where I can take her head and let's see. Is it still? Yes, it is. Okay. Oh, she was over here. All right. So we see how I can click on her face and I can actually change the color. Well, you don't want that for this particular setup. Same thing with the eyes. I think on the other one, it was pretty easy because her eyes were closed. Now, if you're going to do the parts like where they're like her eyes are there, it can be a little tricky when it comes to that particular style. But I'm going to, oh Lord, this may not have, I think this is still completely in its raw form. Yep, I still got lashes and everything. All right, I may have to, hold on. I'm gonna have to weld some things first. Oh, shoot. I didn't set, like, that's a whole bunch of stuff on this one that needs to be um set up. Oh shoot. Okay, hold on. You got to give me a minute to set this up first. Send to, actually, you know what? No, why am I doing that? Duh, Shakia. All right, I'm gonna send this to the back. I'm gonna bring this to the front. And we're just gonna make her face white. And I'm just gonna make all these parts white. I'm just gonna trace it because I ain't got time for this. Because I'll have to, it's so much stuff. Like I wasn't, that one was still in this like completely raw form. So I'm just gonna do a trace on this because there's too many moving parts to it. And I'm just gonna go trace. Oops, see, I'm pulling her wig off. There we go. Okay. So her face is open. Like if I were to change the color on this, it's going to change everything. This is going to be technically ideal. So I'm going to type out black. I want them to be separate. So black girl. Oops. And then magic. I'm going to put this in impact. And then you have to just size it however you want it. So I'm going to go like that. We'll make this a little bit bigger. We're going to take magic and make that the length of, uh-oh, am I still live on TikTok? It told me I can't go live. So, oh, wait, I'm not live anymore. Okay, there we go. Hopefully she can come back. I didn't realize I was no longer live over there. So we're just going to go like this. And I'm going to fill this in with some sort of color. And we're going to place this here. Now I do have I have a couple dedicated videos on knockout. So you can definitely go over to our Silaholics Anonymous YouTube channel and check that out. So now that I have that, we're going to select it and you're going to copy it. I like to keep a duplicate though. All right, so you're going to copy it. You're going to take that copy and you're going to go over to modify. You're going to crop or paste. It doesn't matter which one you do first. And then we're going to group it. Then you're going to go ahead and paste in front and you're going to subtract. Oops, I forgot to, let's see. Okay, perfect. I forgot to group all of this together. And then we're going to subtract. And there we have it. All right, so I'm going to do it again. I'm going to actually pull all of my text in a little bit tighter. So I'm going to go character spacing. Make sure that you guys are liking, hit the like, guys. If you guys have not liked this video, I need you to hit the like button. I need you to tap that screen. I need you to leave a comment so that it can help the algorithm. All right. So we're going to, if you're learning something, say I'm learning in the comments. All right. So I'm going to put this right here. Well, first, let's make sure all of the text is grouped together. I'm going to place this here. I'm going to select it all, and we're going to copy. It doesn't matter which order you do it in. This time I'm going to hit subtract, and I can group that together. And then I'm going to right click and paste in front. And that this time I'm going to go crop and group that together. Same results. Okay. So it's as easy as that. All right. Oh, Black Magic Girl. Haha. I just realized that. It's okay. Either way, it's still the same concept. I just realized I put Black Magic Girl. But same difference. Does everything on and off the mat get saved as a file? Can you just choose a portion of the area to save? So once you just save it, if you're saving it as a silhouette file, yes, everything that's there will get saved. If you save it as like a PDF, only what's on the mat. If you save it as an SVG, everything that's there. If you save it as I think if you save it as a PNG and JPEG, I think it's everything that's on the mat. That's why I normally put it like on its own page. But if you wanted to save just one portion, you select that area and then go File, Save Selection. So not just save as, you go File, Save Selection, and you can save just that part by itself. Can you show via edit points how to remove a section of a line by breaking it, then reconnecting the remaining line? It's supposed to be easy, but I find it to be tricky to do. I hope I'm making sense. Well, if you try to do that, you're doing like a long distance. So if you break it and then try and connect it, you are essentially like, okay, so I'm just going to do a circle, right? So if I come on here and I put another one here and I want to connect from here to here, I want to remove this section. I have to select these two, right? Because these will make up this section. And I'm going to break path, and then I'm going to click off, and I'm going to release compound path so that I can move this. Now, I have two red dots. So now you're going to have to take this and move it up, but you're changing the shape. So now you're going to have to come back in and reshape it. So I'm not sure if that is what you meant. So depending on where you're removing it from, because you said to break the path. So if you break the path to remove a section, it can make recreating that section a little kind of weird or funky. So again, if you go break path, how you remove that section is to release compound path. And we do talk about this in the 30-day training. So if you don't have the 30-day training, I highly recommend that you get it and actually go through it and take the notes and stuff on it, because we do talk about this when we get to the line tool section. We talk about lines and connecting them. So let's say I'm going to do a duplicate of this. So I can take this one there. It's still one compound path, and I can connect these and then click on it and reshape it or add another point and like move it. But these two, I would not be able to move this up here and connect it because they're two separate pieces. This is where compound path comes in to make it where it is one object, even though they're separated. So if I go make compound path, I now have four red dots. I can take this one, I'm going to add an anchor point, and we're going to bring this down and bring this down. And so now they're one piece. So it just really depends on what it is that you're trying to do. If it's that you just want to adjust something, you may be able to add a point and then adjust your handles, or you may need to delete a point to be able to get it to do what you want it to do. All right, well, we are at an hour. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. All right. Dang it. I'm so mad that my live ended over on TikTok before, so I'm not sure if she got back on, but she can always go over to YouTube and watch the playback of this. All right. So thank you guys again. Don't forget to head over to our website. We have amazing classes, guys. Like I said, 30-day training for me is where you start learning to customize and to vectorize. Like, this is a class that really learns you to create vectors from a PNG. So we remove the old logo that's there. We use edit points. So you get to use a lot of things like edit points, subtracting, welding, recreating stuff, moving stuff around. We changed out the lips on these. So there is a lot of learning and getting familiar with the tools on this. Each class offers something different. So the 30-day training teaches you the tools and like their fundamental functions. And then we have other classes that go into detail to bring all of those together, like the switch up. We have our vector one, and we went through creating 7 days and creating a bunch of different types of vector designs. Everything from text, we created our own like cupcakes, and created things from scratch. And then we combined SVGs or combine PNGs, and we trace certain things. So that's a really great one to take. Custom text effects, the event and favor creation. So going through utilizing PNGs and JPEGs, removing backgrounds, how to arrange it, how to make your designs cohesive. All of that is in this particular training. And it is a full 7 days of actual learning, full 7 days in this. Okay. And then the last day, we put everything together. Our sublimation seminar, you actually get like two or three different sessions. It was 6 days. And as you can see from the days, we went over Sublimation 101, how to get started, understanding your heat presses and heat sources. I showed examples of heat presses. If you're in the market for a heat press, day 2 of this breaks down the heat presses, all like the benefits of a swing away, clamshell, pull out, us all in one, a dedicated one. Like, I break down all of that. We go over the common mistakes and errors in printing and getting great colors. When you have breaks in your lines, if you print it and it's all these banding lines. So I teach you out how to identify them, how to fix them. We have day 5 where we're understanding substrates. So I really break it down so that you can get a full understanding of it, and not just like a video says, oh, you want to do sublimation? You're just going to get you a printer. You're going to get paper. You need a heat press. You're going to print it out. You're going to tape it. You're going to lint brush. You're going to press it. There are so many things that can happen. And we don't always want to, maybe rely on a Facebook group and hope someone gives us the right answer. because sometimes it's just regurgitated stuff, and it's somebody that's a brand, they're new just like you, and they're telling you that they heard from somebody else who heard from somebody else. But this breaks it down from an industry professional, and we have 6 days. You get to see sublimation on colored fabrics, on cups, on wood, on metal, on slate, on Dollar Tree items. Like, it's amazing. Like, that last day, we sublimated so many things. It was crazy. And you actually get access to, I think this one was the one where I think you probably get access to like 2 different months with this one. And then the one for oversized printing with the small. So we go through like kind of like some design things, how to break it up, especially if you have business edition, creative designing crash course. It was 10 days of a bunch of different types of like design techniques, like learning design techniques, not just learning to pull things in onto a screen and just arrange them. I teach you designing techniques. Okay. Intro to Photoshop, and this one was just image editing and adding like a little effects and fading off. Here is the superhero face switch up, and all this is in Silhouette Studio, how you can take someone's picture, take their face, remove the background, use your edit points, edit it out, and then put it on top of a superhero body. I got to take this one off. I don't know why that one's still up there. Foundations of Designing was 8 weeks. And again, it is teaching you actual like designing, Photoshop essentials, first cuts. It goes over like if you want to make your first cuts. We actually have a new one of that one coming up. Pricing for profit, amazing. If you're trying to figure out your pricing, I teach how to price as a business, not as a hobbyist or a crafter. The stalls, the differences between these two. Someone asked me that before. This right here, we go through like top to bottom. It's a full-on boot camp, how to design it, how to make different ones. This one was really just showing like how to do them really quick from my templates and how to utilize my templates. And then from there, and there's some other ones. I don't know why it seems like everything isn't showing up on here. Because I know there's some things that's on the Academy side. I got to check and see. There's some things have gone into the vault. You will not be able to ever purchase them again. But I feel like I'm missing some classes over here. But definitely check out those classes over on shop.hsink365.com. She says the teachings are so detailed. So thank you for that. Thank you for answering my question. I'm driving currently. I had to pull outside the road to ask my question, but thank you. Oh, I'm so glad that you were safe with that and you pulled over. So thank you for doing that. Okay. Let's see. So yeah, if your red dots are giving you trouble reconnecting, you have to pull them. And if it's that you did not want them that spread out, you have to add a point. So it's called adding an anchor point to it. Because if not, it's just going to make a straight line. So hopefully that answered your question. So see, it's going to pull it and it's going to mess up the rest of that line. But if you wanted that to stay, you just wanted to connect it. I'm not sure why we are disconnecting it to just connect it back when we could just edit that with the, so I'll undo. So I'm not sure why, you have to kind of give me a little bit more context as to why you're wanting to break path versus just editing the edit points. All right, y'all. So that's that. Thank you guys so very much. Until next time, have a great one. Continue to unlock your creativity and be incredible. Peace.